My name is Travis Reed.
My name is Carl.
And this is our sports show that we're going to start. Hopefully, people out here take a listen.
Oh, I think they will. I think they will follow the sound that we make with the things that we're getting ready to do. But let's just start off and be real with this athlete's journey. With the athlete that's right next to me, Travis Reed, a man that's played at every level of basketball, obviously. You've been a star on your high school team, star on your college team, star on your European team. You've been all over the country. You've been all over the world, to be quite honest with you. Now we're here, talking about your journey. Where did it begin?
Pretty much began in South Central LA. To Carl and Olivia Reed.
I think I know those people.
I think you know them pretty well.
I hear good things about them. Go ahead.
Yeah, but happy family, but obviously living in a war zone. Growing up, South Central at the time was the murder capital of the world.
And what time was this? Was it 90s, 80s?
80s. Growing up in the 80s. Pretty much early on, my first couple years of my life. Pops was in the military, so we moved around a lot. Stationed in North Dakota, stationed in Sacramento, stationed in Texas. So we was all over.
So you're a military brat.
Yep, for the first 8 years. And then when he retired, I was 8. We moved back to LA.
Okay, was basketball an early part of your life, or was that something that was gained as you were growing older?
Pretty much it was early. Loved the Lakers since I was probably about 2.
Favorite player?
Magic Johnson still is to this day.
32. That's what I'm talking about.
I wore 32, all the way up, almost to high school. Then I switched my number in high school because of Magic. Wore shoes, all that.
Yeah, the Converse on and everything.
Converse, 1988s, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So now, growing up in Los Angeles, how were you introduced to basketball? How was it brought to you?
Pretty much by my father. He was my coach in basketball, football, baseball, soccer. He coached me in every single sport. So, he brought me in sports. I was gonna pick a sport. I was gonna play sports though.
Because he wanted to make sure that you were doing something.
Yeah, he wanted to keep something positive. Obviously living in the surroundings we were living in, we had to figure out something. So my dad, luckily for me, my dad worked at a Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, so you had the access.
So I had access. We went up there, obviously, all day, every day, played with my friends, and after, work was off, we would shoot.
Every day?
Every day.
Now that you're growing up in LA, your father's teaching you basketball, did you have any skill growing up, or did you pretty much dribbling the ball off your feet?
Well, in the beginning, I was doing that because I was tall, kind of lanky kid, kind of awkward, Didn't really know what I was doing, but as he kept working with me, my skills started to develop a little bit better as I got older, and just kept growing from there.
And then by this time, your first time now you're playing basketball, you're growing up in the game with dad teaching you. When did you finally realize, you know what? Okay, I got something with this. Now I'm gonna do something with it.
Pretty much, I would say when I was about 9 years old, my dad used to play me against 11-year-olds, 11 and 12-year-olds. So I always played 2 or 3 years up because I was a big kid. Because every time I played against kids my age, parents be like, "He's not 9. I want to see his birth certificate. He is not 9." All at the time.
Right.
So for me, it was like when I played against 11 and 12-year-olds, I get beat up, hit, knocked around.
Right.
And growing up, my family was like, "Get up, don't be tough. You ain't no punk, get up."
Right.
The male way of life, man. So when I started actually doing good against 11 and 12-year-olds when I was 9, I realized maybe I could do something with this.
And in this time when you were growing up playing ball at 9, was there anybody that you were playing with at 9 that we could recognize today?
Not when I was 9. I didn't, like I said, meet anybody who became, the players they were till I was about 11. That's
really?
When,
And who was that then?
First person I met when I was 11 was 2 people actually. It was Shea Cotton. And so when I was 11, we played up at this. My dad was my coach. We was the Boys and Girls Club team. We played up at this place called Victoria Park. And anybody know Victoria Park? Back then, every single player that was big played at Victoria Park. So I met Shea Cotton there, Baron Davis, Paul Pierce, Kenny Bruner, Corey Benjamin, like the list, the Collins twins, Jason and Jaron Collins, like the list goes on and on and on of people. I saw Toby Bailey up there for the first time. And like I said, like if you was a good player, that's what we played. Izzy Washington ran the league. But we was like a Boys and Girls Club team. We played Shea's team. They were like AAU champions, won the whole thing. I'm like, AAU champions, what is that? You know, we just going around playing just different, different parks, different places. We played at Jim Gilliam Park in the jungle, one way in, one way out. Hated playing up there, boy. Because if something pop off, it ain't nowhere to go. You gotta, stand.
You better know where you're going.
You know where you're going to get out because there's only one way in. So we played Shea. Like I said, we was like, who's? We heard about name because back then there was no YouTube, nothing like that to like give you highlights. It was just name, hearsay. Like this dude Shea Cotton is real, blah blah blah. We were like, man, we heard that before, whatever.
Right.
So we came down. I remember first play we played him. He got a steal off one of my teammates or something. Came down. He just 11 years old. Came down. Bam! Dunked it. And we was like, did he just dunked the ball at 11? There's no way he's the same age as us. I'm just touching the net. You know what I'm saying? Dude come down. Boom! Dunk it. He come down and get another break. Dunk it again. I'm like, dude, we about to get blown out.
Pretty much game over by that.
Yeah, we was the game over by then, man.
So tell me this. Now that you got into this point, Pops is always around you. How was Dad on you about training?
So, all right, imagine this. You wake up in the morning, you eating your breakfast.
Dig it.
Hey, you ready for this game? You better be ready to do this. You better be ready to do that.
That's a pretty good impression of Dad, too.
Yeah, right? You just like, Dad, can I just eat my cereal? Can I just wake up? On the way to the game, you better be ready. You better be ready to play. At the game, yelling, come on, Travis. After the game, you didn't play hard enough. When we get home, let me tell you how you play, son. And that was just every game, game in, game out, in whatever sport. I could have scored 2 touchdowns in football. You could have had 3. I could have scored 20 points in basketball. You could have had 30. It was always that. It was always the next. It kept me hungry. Because it was like, okay, well, I got to keep working, because he was my ultimate approval. If I can get him to say, son, good job, then I know that I've done a real good job.
Well, after you, that makes a lot of sense, trust me, with our dad. But when it comes to basketball, with that, in this point in your life, you're 11 years old, were you starting to play AAU? Were you starting, after you broke off with that one team, and you started,
Now, Pops coached me up until I was about 12. I would say the greatest, funnest year of my life was when I was 10. We was like the baby Bruins. We won every tournament in the city. We won all the tournaments at the different boys and clubs. We won the Challenge Boys and Girls Club Championship.
Right. That
team, crazy, right? We had all kind of kids running and pressing. We was the only team in the league doing full court press. So many friends and so it was crazy. But like to get to the AAU part, we was up at Victoria Park. We played ARC back then. It was ARC. They were sponsored by Catapult, which is like the person, LA Gear. Karl Malone was the main dude that they sponsored. So we played them. We lost to them by like 20 against Jason and Jaron Collins. I saw them in this book. It was called Kai High Sports. And if you was in that book, you was good. So we played them, lost, but I had a good game. And the coach was like, maybe you can come on my team. Obviously, Pops was skeptical because he was the only one that ever coached me my whole life. He was like, I don't know.
What can he teach you that I can't teach?
Yeah, like what does he know that I don't know? Why would you want to lead the Boys and Girls Club team? And then my grandma actually told him, you got to let him go. You got to let him go.
It's always great. It's always mine.
It always.
It's always mine. It's always mine.
Always, you know what I'm saying?
So now that you have this going on, now when did you start to get a notoriety for the things that you were doing when it came to being on the court?
Pretty much like I would say, 6th and 7th grade year. When I started playing ARC, like that's when my name became bigger, right? Because I was playing with two kids that, Jason and Jaron Collins, who was, big names. You know what I'm saying? So they already knew, like, who these two was. So they would see me and they were like, "Who is this dude?" Mm-hmm. And then like Travis Reed. The names started coming up more and more and more. I would say when I really got a name was we went to the AAU the national tournament up in San Antonio, Texas. And anybody don't know AAU? AAU is like where all the best teams and all the country play. So teams from Detroit, Atlanta, New York, Philly, wherever, right? So that tournament, like you see basically the future NBA.
Right.
Because at that one I saw Shane Battier, I saw Elton Brand, I saw Ron Artest, like I said, obviously I played with Jason and Jaron Collins, just a bunch of dudes, Marcus Fizer, all these dudes who went to the NBA eventually played in the AAU tournament there. So I was like, doing real good off the bench. I wasn't even starting, and I was, we went all the way to the championship game, and we lost to this dude named Anthony Glover, who he played in the NBA too, But we beat Shane Battier's team. We beat everybody. We went all the way, like I said, to the final.
Oh, that's what's up. Now, from that game on, that's when you developed your name. What particular that you did that made people gravitate towards you that led you to eventually, get into the notoriety that you would eventually know very well?
Pretty much, man, it was, like I said, my game was similar to like a mix between like maybe Charles Barkley and like Magic. Because I was a big guy. I would rebound it, bring the ball up, pass it, or shoot it or whatever. Because the Collins twins, Jason and Jaron was already like 6'7". We were 12. And they were big, right?
Right.
So they would just dump it to each other and score. Nobody could stop them. They were big, but they were, like big men. I was shorter than them. So I had to figure out what would be my niche.
And how tall were you at the time?
Probably about 6'3".
6'3". Okay.
Yeah, 6'3". And like I said, for me, it was, I developed, dribbling, because I played point guard with my pops team, all through until I stopped playing with him. So I could dribble, and that wasn't, nothing to me. So, and I've always brought that energy,
Now I've heard plenty of times from Dad of how you're left-handed, but you're right-handed, but Dad taught you how to dribble with your left.
Yeah, my game was pretty awkward. You know what I'm saying? Like ambidextrous, I write with my right, I throw with my right, I do everything with my right, but I shoot a basketball with my left. And he was like, you gotta be the opposite. I want you to be different, right? So like he thought like of me, like you gonna be left-handed. Can't stop a left-handed, man. You can't stop a left-handed. So it was always, like I said, it was always that, like I was the different kind of player.
That's what's up. So you going from there, now you moving up, you got to high school, killed in there. What made you choose to go to the college you did, which eventually became UCLA?
It was my dream school, like I was telling you before. Like when Pops coached me, he made me memorize the Pyramid of Success by John Wooden. So we had to memorize that as 10-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy, right? So we couldn't play. He would be like, "What's faith? What's this? What's that?" Like on the spot. If you didn't know, you had to run. And so you'd be like, "Oh man, let me read this." He painted it on the wall. So let me read this. Yeah, let me read this. Make sure I know it. Okay. So we would test each other. Like, what is he saying? So we would know. So nobody would have to run. Mm-hmm. Because if you mess up, the team runs instead of you. So they looking at you. They want to sock you because you didn't remember what you didn't remember. But nah, man. Like I said, growing up, always loving UCLA. I've been watching UCLA, man. since like Reggie Miller in 85, 86, whatever it was, and he came, man.
High top fade Reggie.
Yeah, like high top skinny. We still skinny, but like high top fade Reggie, man. And I was like, bro, you know, like UCLA is a school. Like I knew about John Wooden. I knew about, you know, Kareem and Bill Walton. I wanted to be a part of that.
Right.
And I don't know any person in the city that didn't, because like all the ballers, it was two things. If you wanted to play football, you wanted to go to SC.
Right, definitely.
If you wanted to play basketball, I wanted to go UCLA. So for me, I was like, if I don't play football, I'm going to UCLA, you know? And that's the reason why I had other schools. I had, you know, Arizona, you know, Indiana, Notre Dame, Oregon. I had over 300 scholarship offers. Even Harvard and Yale. Back then it wasn't good, you know? My pops was like, boy, you could have went to Harvard on a scholarship? Yeah, you know I wasn't going to Harvard, Dad. You know, they basketball wasn't no good.
Like horrible. Education,
yeah. You know, I could have been the president. But, you know, it was, you know, UCLA was a school for me.
So once you made that decision, you know, after, you know, going to UCLA, who named the people that were a part of your class at UCLA?
Pretty much it was myself. We was the number one class in the country just first, right?
Yeah, start off with that, yeah.
Yeah, it was myself, Baron Davis, Earl Watson, Billy Knight, rest of his soul, Rico Hines, Ty Remazar, and Shea Cotton. But he became ineligible after the summer. You know, something happened, you know, where he supposedly got in trouble. Like
right.
I said, you know, like I can't speak on that man's stuff.
Right,
know,
right,
so,
definitely.
You know, but that something happened with NCAA where you couldn't play.
Which is not too hard to do when it comes to being a college athlete.
Yeah, you know, NCAA, you know, joke, man. So they, you know, they're gonna get you if something happens, you know, that, you know, they don't want to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If you're guilty, they're gonna make you know.
Okay, now here's something that I did hear that me and you have spoken about a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
UCLA, and I've heard Baron talk about it. Kobe was up there a couple times.
Yep, he was up there all the time.
All the time.
When he was like a rookie, you know, coming out of high school, like he would play at the men's gym every day.
Right.
So like we would just be like, who is this dude? You know, this is Kobe Bryant. I already knew who he was because Corey Benjamin was a McDonald's All-American. He told me about Kobe. You know, like this dude can play. I was like, he's good enough for the league? It's like, yeah. Yeah, he's good. He can play. And so, like, Kobe, we out there, we would watch him play. Like, man, this dude was like 17 years old? He out there dunking, shooting, just like, I was like, this dude is real, you know? And so, like, this was like his second year after, because, you know, he was bald head year. This is
right.
Afro Kobe. You know, Afro Kobe was just super athletic, had the boost. So we was then, like, we was freshmen coming in, and we used to see him play all the time. Like, the men's gym is obviously legendary. People who know ball, all the NBA dudes go up there, right?
Right.
Magic Johnson was legendary for cheating because he would get the stack team. So, like, I remember one day, like, the most stack team I seen him get. He had him, Baron, you know, Baron, this is athletic killing Baron.
Right.
Shaq, Jim Jackson, and Michael Finley. Right? All on the same team. And this is all-star Michael Finley and Jim Jackson, who was averaging like 20 a game in the league. Magic was like, I am never losing. Because and you said the men's gym was 3 courts. And like the main court is the middle court.
Right.
And then if you lose, you go to this court. And then everybody on the side, like on the side court. But obviously people move. Magic was like, today I ain't leaving the middle. So he got that. So whenever he got, like, they would be losing or something, he would just, Shaq score. And Shaq would just clear out, elbow, dunk. Clear out, elbow, dunk. Who gonna stop Shaq? That was young Shaq. That was like with Shaq, you know, was like 29, 28, you know, whatever. So he was in shape, killing.
And this is what you're used to every day going to
That was every day. That was freshman, out of high school, going to freshman year. We was up there every day playing.
And did it have any effect on you as far as like, oh man, I see him up close, like, Now you know what it takes a little bit. Was kind of like seeing them up close. I can play with them.
Yeah, I mean, look, you see them on TV, right? You see all the Lakers, all the Clippers, all the NBA dudes. Because every dude who was on Letterman or Jay Leno at the time, they would come play. So you would see everybody. Like I said, everybody from every team. You know, see Patrick Ewing one day, you see Alonzo Mourning one day, Dikembe Mutombo one day, you would see, you know, whoever was good at that time, you know, you would see Allen Houston, all these people. So for me, it was just like eye-opening. Like I'm playing against these dudes, you know, like every day, you know what I'm saying? And like whatever happens, I'm gonna just play hard and not gonna say nothing, you know, and just work hard. And like it gave me a chance to give me confidence. Like college, you know, I'm going against these dudes in college, man. I'm playing against these dudes every day, pickup, and that's how all the UCLA dudes feel when they be playing pickup with the NBA dudes.
I mean, well, tell me this: why'd you leave?
I mean, the coach had a, you know, like difference of opinion of playing time, you know, like. But like this, you know, like he got the recruiting class, number one recruiting class in the country 2 years in a row, right? The next year he brought in, which was probably the most talented team I ever been on as far as like just talent. It was Barron, Earl, Matt Barnes, Jerron Rush, Jerome Mucio, Dan Gazeric, myself, Ray Young, Billy Knight. We basically had 5 dudes that played in the NBA. Right, with Barron, Earl, Jerome, Matt, and Dan. They all played in the NBA.
Right.
All of them had, you know, except for Jerome, all of them had 10-year careers, 10 plus, you know. Me, Billy, Ray played overseas, you know. And obviously I played 10 years, Billy played 14. And Ray actually was on Golden State's team, like the, you know, beginning of the year. You know what I'm saying? So it was so much talent. But Lavin didn't really know how to play it all together. So I was kind of like odd man out sometimes. And so it was like, well, some games I would play 30 minutes, some games I would play 6, some games I would play 20, 15.
And that had to bother you. You know, you come from South Central where you had to you go into the jungle to just to play a game of basketball. So you got a coach telling you, you know, hey, you're good, but you ain't starting, you know, you kind of rotate you and whatnot, and that's cool, but how did that make you feel, you know, like, all right, what's up? Did you talk to him?
I talked to him, and like I said, throughout the year, he was just like, you know, he felt that he needed to play these guys because they was better, and I said, okay, that's fine, you know, if you feel that way. Just play me, be consistent, you know? Like, it was always with him, it was always up, down, and like, I wouldn't be paying attention because for the last 2 games I'd have played 12 minutes. And then he put me in and played me 25 minutes. And I'd be like, I just can't play like that, you know?
Right.
'Cause nobody really can. It was a situation where, you know, like I want to be somewhere where I'm consistent.
And which is where he led you to, you know, going to the LBC. So, I mean, before you got to there, but did you have any other choices to transfer? Because I know there's different rules, you know, for different schools. So what went to that thought process with that?
Well, you know, I thought about SC. I thought about Oregon, but I knew that at the time in NCAA, if you transfer in conference, you have to sit 2 years instead of 1, which is kind of stupid, but whatever. And so I was like, okay. I had a couple of choices. I went to Tennessee on a visit. I went to Oklahoma on a visit. I went to Long Beach State. And pretty much at the time, I felt like, you know, I was actually going to go to Oklahoma. Like I signed a scholarship paper. They put me in their program for the next year.
Right.
I was actually going to Oklahoma. And then, you know, our grandma got real sick, you know, I remember, you know, she got real sick. And so I decided to kind of stay home and be at Long Beach State while, so she, you know, I could be close to her and obviously see her still. And like my parents get a chance, they get to drive and see me play.
Right.
You know, she ended up passing obviously before she got a chance to see me play at Long Beach, but you know, I went to Long Beach because to be close to her.
Wow. Now you end up at Long Beach. You the man in Long Beach. And I remember this because, you know, I've seen every one of your games. You know, begrudgingly or wanting to do it or not wanting to do it, I was there. So now that you're at Long Beach, man, did you feel like this is a space for you to spread your wings out? What'd you do with it?
Pretty much with Long Beach, I was just happy because I just told Coach, look, you know, just give me the opportunity. He's like, opportunity is yours. It's for yours to mess up. If you play good, you play. You're going to start. We didn't say I'm going to start, but like, you know, you're going to play, right? So I knew I was going to start. You know, I ain't coming there, come off the bench. I just came off the bench. But nah, like it was cool for me because like I started from day one. They gave me like preseason newcomer of the year, like it was like pub, whatever, from the Street Smith and like all these magazines. So I was ready. I was ready to play. I was amped. I was like, coming in like, oh, you think I can't play UCLA? Like, you can leave, you can win without me, fine. I'm gonna show you. I'm about to show you.
Let's see what's up.
I'm about to show you what you missing.
You remember that first game? How was that first game?
First game, Long Beach. Wasn't quite the first game of UCLA. UCLA, first game we played North Carolina and Vince Carter and Antoine Jameson. They beat us by like 30. I remember Vince Carter dunked, said we ain't gonna win as a team. Said we ain't gonna win. We about to get blown out. We lost by like 30. But Long Beach first game we played in St. Louis. We played like I can't think of the team's name, but they went to the tournament that year.
Right.
But I was just so amped and so happy. I was crying. I was crying before the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, thank you, coach. I appreciate it. Let's get it. We ended up losing.
Right.
But I had a good game. And I was like, I can play college, man. I can play. And so that year we played a bunch of good teams. We played in tournaments. We went to play. We played Oregon State. We played Oklahoma. We played all these teams, different teams from all over now. I did pretty good. Like was packed. Big West all first team. Should have won Player of the Year. I'm gonna bring that up. The next time with my boy Jerry Green. He got it. I should have got it. Still salty about that. But yeah, man, it was like I said, a blessing, super blessing. Super happy that I played. I went to Long Beach State, and plus for me, it was a way to get my grades right. My redshirt year gave me a chance to catch up on school, and like really, really, really get my grades right, so I can graduate in those in that time I was in.
Which meant a whole lot more, I know, to Dad than
Pops was like, I don't care what you do in ball, you got to college, graduate. And I said the same thing my grandma said. Graduation is the number one thing. Don't let the school pimp you. You pimp the school. If you don't graduate, the school didn't pimp you. Because they got all this money and all this, out of you. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you graduate, you done pimp the school because you got your education.
So you graduated. What was your degree?
In communications. With a minor in African studies.
Really?
Yeah, wanted to learn about the motherland,
I dig it. So now that you're at Long Beach State, obviously you're coming to the end of your run, in college. Were you starting to hear any knocks on the door as far as, NBA tryouts, draft? What were you hearing?
Pretty much, like with Memphis at the time, Memphis Grizzlies, at the time was like coming to a lot of practices for me and this other guy named Rudy. And it was like, we like your game, whatever. And like I said, he's come to a lot of games, a lot of practices, But I knew that year that, because they was looking for a power forward, And so I was just on the list of many. So I got some buzz, like I actually, I had another, good year. We went to the, Big West tournament again. I was Big West all first team again. Like third in the league in scoring, like I had a good year. But I didn't know for sure if I was gonna be, get that, tryout or whatever. So I had a couple workouts with some teams, with Memphis and Toronto, some other teams. But like, I didn't know like until the draft, I didn't go to Chicago,
right.
Like that. I went to this other camp called VCU Sports in the Showcase Camp in
right.
Virginia. And as a matter of fact, when I was there, it was me and Billy. Billy was there too. And what happened was they was like it was NBA scouts there, like the Blazers, Nuggets, Jazz, Hawks, a bunch of teams. But it was a lot of overseas scouts. It was a lot of overseas scouts, probably 2-1 overseas to NBA. So I was like, okay, well if I kill, I'm gonna go somewhere, And I won MVP of the camp.
I guess that would be considered killing.
So, won MVP of the camp, and so like a lot of overseas agents start hitting me up immediately after the camp was done.
Right.
You want to play in Holland, you want to play in Germany, you want to play here, there. And I was like, let me hold off. You know, so I watched the draft with Pops that year. And like I was like, they were saying, my coach talked to me. He was like, well, if they draft you, they're gonna draft you like 57. You know, because they had like 4 picks in the draft, right? So like I told you, it was looking for a power forward. So their first, Memphis had the number 2 pick. They got Stromile Swift, right? And then they had the number 18th pick. They got just doing Casper Skambala. So
you notice me shaking my head every time.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. So yeah, I'm probably not gonna make this team, right? Then they got like the 3rd pick, got another power forward. Then I really know I ain't gonna make it, right?
Right.
And so, and at 57, they was like, you know, they took another dude at 57, but they basically said like, look, we took him, but we really wanted you, right? And so, and a summer league team, they wanted me to come to the summer league team. But at that time, I just graduated from college and I needed rent. So I needed money, right? So I had an agent, you know, he was my boy's agent, and he got him. He actually knew Shea too, and he's a French agent, so he got me to go to. He was like, "Dude, I got this job in Colombia, Bogota." You know.
Wait, Bogota, Colombia, to play basketball.
Yep.
Okay, continue.
And I was like, "All right, well, how much is it?" $4,500 a month. I said, "Man, I can't beat that. I'm making zero now." I can't beat that. But it was the summer. It was like May. And he was like, "I get you a job in June." You know? So I was like, bro, I need it because they, you know, rent got to get paid, bro.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, man, like, you know, get your passport, go overseas, you know? Because I had a friend who told me about the G League, my boy Rock, or D League then.
Right?
The
D League.
It was D League then. And he told me, like, bro, if you go to D League, bro, it's cool. Like, you might get a call up, but you might not. At that time, they were paying like $2,500 maybe. And you be in like Willacoochee, Georgia, you know, sharing a 5-bedroom apartment. I mean, a 2-bedroom apartment with like 5 dudes. So, yeah, that ain't me, bro.
No.
I'm leaving college. I'm not leaving college to go to college again. You know what I'm saying? So I was, you know, taking bus to, you know, like that. You know, so I was like, well, $2,500, 2-bedroom apartment, 5 dudes, sleeping on a couch or sleeping in a room sharing with a dude, or $4,500 a month, got my own stuff, my own spot. What would you do?
Europe.
So I wasn't even Europe yet. That was just Bogota, Colombia.
You know Bogota, Colombia. So what's in Colombia? Like when you got there, you played ball. How was it?
Man, crazy.
What happened? Well, tell me the crazy story.
All right, first story. Right, you get off the plane. Right, first thing I noticed, there's no police. Right, it's only military. The military is the police. So all you do is see dudes with like AK-47s and, you know, M4 machine guns on their back, pistols, and like they just walking around like it ain't nothing. I'm like shaking in my boots, man. I'm like, man, what's up? You know, like what's this about, right? So I'm 6'8", obviously at the time. Dude comes over, you know, like comes over to me. He didn't speak no English. He was just like doing the sign like this. I'm like, yeah.
Hey, this is the basketball sign?
Yeah, like basketball, international basketball sign.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah. So all right, come on. So we get in like a cart, whatever, van. So we riding. We get stopped. Like I don't know where we at. We in the middle of the road. It's late at night. Cops come, you know, with the big old, not cops, but like the military comes on passports. And I'm like, man, this is like a damn movie, bro. I'm scared. Like I'm sitting in the back like, all right, man. Whatever. Okay, get my passport. They check, stamp, you know. I get to the hotel late, you know, come up, you know, in the morning. Like, you know, military cops knocking on my door. Like, all right, time to go to practice. I'm like, are y'all escorting me? Yeah, we got to. Everywhere you go.
To practice?
To practice. Like, we're assigned to you. So everywhere I went, I had 2 military people with me at all times.
And just making sure we talking about practice.
So I'm walking to practice with my teammates, with the two people with me, with the two military people with me. If I went to practice, or if I wanted to go international calls, like I would call y'all.
Yeah,
they were with me at all times.
Well, I told you before, there was times I talked to you. He's like, man, you sound really, really stressed out. What's going on? You all right? I mean, you're just saying, I didn't know that there was AK-47s next to you. I would have said,
I was like, yeah, man, it's a bit,
it's a bit different.
A bit different, my bro. So it was crazy. Like I said, that was dealing with, like that every day and like practicing. Like I said, we practiced in a gym, like a court. It was a court, but it was a fence around it, right? So like a cage match gym. So that, and then like the scene, it was like we was in a little concrete thing. It's hard to explain. You just had to be there, right? Little concrete, like people sat on the concrete going crazy. It was like no windows. It was like, it was just a crazy situation, man.
Sounds like a prison league.
Yeah, in a way. I'm telling you. Fans jumping, singing, they hitting, bringing out fireworks, fire stuff in the gym. I was like, people in Columbia is crazy, man. Straight up. If the ref missed a bad call, I promise you he was jogging to his car.
Well, tell me, did you talk to the owner?
Oh, man. Yeah, I talked to the owner, man. He was, people don't know this, but a lot of the drug dealers over there were the owners of the teams. They like basketball. So the owner come in, he come with 5 or 10 dudes, armed guards, and like a posse of dudes, right? And like he said, hey Travis, how you doing? How's everything? Hey man, everything's fantastic, man. Fantastic. You know what I'm saying? I'm great. Thank you for everything, bro. And so you come in the cream tan suit looking like, Scarface or something, man. And like that's every owner was like that, right? When obviously now that I watch Cocaine Cowboys and all that, when I went to Medellin, not thinking about none of that, man. But I noticed in their gym is a hell of a lot better than our gym. They got nice seats, nice everything, Everything was crazy, man.
Pablo did it right.
I don't know if he was the main person, but it was tight in Medellin. Medellin was tight. Like I said, Colombia was just like a cool situation. Only thing that was crazy about it, like I said, was fans, people, and craziest story, right, of that whole time there. Right. We win a big game against like the best team in the league, right? After the game, we stayed in the hotel. All of us stayed in the hotel. The whole team, wasn't allowed to stay like in apartments and drive or anything like that. So we're just chilling downstairs, in the lobby, like me and the Americans, and like the team, just like we happy, whatever.
Yeah.
So like then, we get a knock because like they had to knock to get into like the front lobby because they locked it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then here comes the owners, right? And here comes 50 women with them, right? 50. I'm just like, the line never stopped, man. Women, right? We just like, what is going on? They about to have a party over here? What's going on, man? So the owner comes, hey, this is for the big win. Pick anyone you want. Pick 2. Pick 3. Me and the other Americans look at each other like, bro, did he? No, he didn't say that. No, he didn't. It's all night, all fun, all night. Drinks, he's like, he opened up the bar. Give them whatever they want, whatever. I was like, bro. I was actually about to go call my girl at the time, I need Jesus right now, man.
It's like, please pray for me.
Please, Lord, please pray. Like, oh my God, I don't know. Other Americans, they was like, bro, we with you, I ain't never seen nothing like this either, all right? So it was funny about that was the coach, right? Big beer belly dude, right? He took 3. He was like, Coach, you can't handle 3 women, man. He was like, wait, hey, watch me try. I was like, dude, this is funny, dude. He was the only one that spoke English. the funny thing is he was assistant, like one of the coaches, right?
All right.
The main head coach spoke Spanish the whole time. So before the games, this is like another side story, but like before the games, he'd be talking Spanish, like talking for like 10, 15 minutes. And I asked the Spanish dude, like, what'd he say? Get you and the Americans the ball. I'm like, he talked for 15 minutes. Like, more or less, get you the ball. Get him to get the Americans the ball.
Right.
And then we'll win the game, and everybody fits in that. But
that's what's up.
The 50 hooker story, still, I remember that to this day, bro. Like, I didn't mess with it. I was straight out of college. I was not expecting anything like that, you know. So I didn't do it. I went back up at the room with the other American. We just played PlayStation all night. But you know, they partied. I don't know what else they did, but they partied all night. We left. We just, you know, this ain't my senior, bro.
I mean, I can only understand why, 50 women just showing up after a game win would make any man nervous.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, and it's not like they were like mud ducks, bro. They were like top of the line, high quality, premium A beef. Sorry, if any women out there watching this, sorry. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it was, real.
At least you're honest.
I'm telling you.
Well, if that's only the first story, I can only imagine what's coming up in the further you go down into your you break into other parts of when you go to Europe and went to France at one point. But it started in Colombia. It started with one game. Started with a drug dealer. And then it ended with 50 hooks.
Yeah. Well, no, that was just one of the games.
One of the games.
It wasn't like the climax. Because pretty much I stayed there until I got a contract in Europe, right? I got a contract I signed in Poland, right? My agent at the time was like, just stay there until you get a job. Make that money.
Right.
So I made the money, $4,500, whatever, a month. I made me like 9, 10 G's for 2 months. It was like August, like when I was about, and he was like, just leave, forget it, just leave.
Right.
Just leave, just bounce. I was like, I'm supposed to tell them or whatever. Man, I'm scared, man. I don't know what they're gonna do to me, man. And so, like, I had to learn how to say tranquilo real fast, because, they driving in the mountains, the taxi drivers is driving like 100 miles per hour on the mountain swerves and getting down places. Man, I was like, tranquilo, man, tranquilo. Means slow down.
You got me. You got more Spanish on me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I had to learn how to say that fast, because they drive crazy, And I was like, before I did leave, I wanted to make sure I got all the money I could make.
Right.
And so they was like, it's cool. I was like, man, my mom's sick. I gotta go back, man. I'm sorry, man. I just made up some excuse.
Right.
Because I got the deal. I signed the deal in Bogota. I showed the other American. He's like, that's tight, T. Do your thing, work out, And I was like, yeah, man, I'm about to bounce then, And he was like, yeah, do your thing. So I told my coach, yeah, I'm about to leave, bro. And he was like, hey, man, you gonna get your money, man. Like, we don't like it? And I was like, no, I love it, man, but, my mom's sick, I gotta go, man, like, I can't stay. And the owner was like, hey, you play one more game, one more week, and then you go. And I was like, well, I wasn't planning on staying, but
that sounds like an ultimatum.
Yeah, I was like, you win this game, you go. You can go. So, man, that game, I must have went for like 25 rebounds, like 35 points. We're gonna win that game because I need to go.
Well, guns are usually a proper motivator.
So
any type of situation.
So I gave him a salute after, and he okay. So then I left, and I got home. Like, my mom hugged me for like 10 minutes.
I remember that.
She was like, oh my God, baby, oh my God, baby. I was like, mom, it's cool, mom.
Yeah, she said he had like a thick Rick Ross beard before Rick Ross.
I didn't shave because, not knowing the voltage, clippers popped. So I was picking my hair with a razor, like a old school with the big razor. Like,
oh God, dude. Come on, man.
Yeah, man. So like my hair was like super shiny, like Shaq and Mike's, but it was light skin. So but I didn't touch my face because I knew Big would break me out. So like I did have I looked like Suge, like I had the beard and bald head, my girl at the time, she was like, "Oh wow, can we take you to the barbershop right now?" You know, when she picked me up from the airport, I was like, "Nah, I got to see." My mom was like, like upset, like crying because she was missing me so much. And I was like, "You got to go see moms, before, I do it." So I was like, "Oh my God, I missed you." I gave you a hug, your sister a hug.
Yeah, we did. Do we hug?
No, we probably gave each other a handshake.
Yeah, handshake. Like a man. Like, hey, what's up? Yeah. Hey, 50 what?
So yeah, no, the 50 hooker story. I remember I told Pops that he was like, boy, you had a good time, huh? And I told my ex the girl at the time, she was like, "Did you even do nothing, did you?" You know I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing, So I talked to you some of that night. "Oh yeah. Don't get socked." I was like, "Take it easy. I'm just getting back."
Hey, don't get socked though. Just being real.
Exactly, my bro. So I would say that story and playing in like different gyms, different countries, and within the country of Colombia was just real crazy, man.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It sounds like the beginning of an athlete's journey to even greater things. And so what would you say? I mean, after all, dealing with Colombia and all that stuff, moving on to going to Poland, dealing with the 50 hookers, were you ready to go, even further than that to make sure that you follow your dreams?
Well, I thought to myself, I was just like, man, if this is the first stop, what is the Europe going to be like, man? You know what I'm saying? If this is Bogota, Colombia, right? Mm-hmm. What is Europe, right? You know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe we should save it then. Do you think we should save it?
Yeah, save it for the next episode.
Save it for the next episode. Save it for the next episode.
All right.
So I gotta say, signing off. I guess an athlete's life has come to an end for this episode. I'm Carl. This is
Travis,
and this is